Welcome back to Allianz. Basking in the sunshine in the Harbour City. And the Sharks up against the Cowboys in sudden death finals football. First finals series doubleheader since 1935. And the first time these teams have played against each other at this venue. A venue that hasn't been kind to either. Cowboys have won only 2 of their last 7 here. And it was here that the last 2 seasons ended for them in finals football. So the Cowboys are on their way. They've won 5 of their past 6 matches against the Sharks, including the most recent only a fortnight ago. In fact, they've won both games played that they've met in this season. So their captain, Jonathan Thurston, as he does all the way down the tunnels, no matter where he's at, acknowledging the youngsters leaning out and catching the touch of one of the game's superstars' hands, and he leads the Cowboys out for this knockout elimination final. The first of 2. Canterbury will play Newcastle in a similar match tomorrow. The Roosters will play Manly later on tonight in the qualifying final. Matt Scott is back. The broken finger has been repaired. I wouldn't imagine it's healed though. And he was out of that team that went down, or should I say, got up against the Sharks. A fortnight ago, he was off in the very early minutes. The Sharks are in high voice, and the grandstands are well populated on the sunny side of Allianz. A season of high drama for them. Even if their season was to end here, it has been a remarkable journey. As it has been for the Cowboys. They were back in 15th placing at the halfway mark of this competition. Carney is back after a fortnight out with a hamstring. The back end of his seasons haven't brought much good luck, have they? The Achilles, wasn't it, last year? He's vital to their efforts here today. Carney versus Thurston. Mouth-watering stuff. Cowboys will run left-right to the grand final in 05. Tamo, 100 games today. Cronulla in quest of their 4th grand final. 73-78. Super League 97.
You're on, boys.
And a replay grand final, if you want to count that, in 1978 against Manly, who have been their nemesis in 73-78. Thurston kicks off. Only one of these is going to come back. And it's Robson who marks the ball and gives it immediately to the front rower of the year, probably, Andrew Fafita. So Takatisi runs the decoy, and John Morris is captured just outside his 20-metre line. And Bo Ryan goes in from dummy half to take it away and lose the ball, but he lost it backwards. And Cronulla retained possession with one of their grand final winners playing the ball, Luke Lewis. And here is Gallen now, the captain courageous. Takatisi this is, and he's taken play to within 8 metres of the halfway line. So they're going to complete their first set nicely. And Carney it is that basically chips it down onto the wing, where it's Antonio Winterstein who brings it back. And he'll play the ball 22 metres out from his own line. Matt Bowen has gone to dummy half. And immediately the winger in from the other side. Alugia. Glenn Hall won a premiership in 08. His first carry of the day. Tamo, who's been elevated to Test and Origin status, as I said, playing in his 100th today. Here's Scott with his first run of the day. So Matthew, just a few metres on Cronulla's side of the halfway line, taken down by Lewis. Costration is the dummy half. And oh dear, a mistake of some proportions. Back inside the 10 for the Sharks.
Yes, that's a nervous one.
No, take the scrum for me, mate. Take the scrum.
Young Fecky. He's juggled straight between his hands off the knee, but the damage is done, and that's a nervous one.
Gus, such as the accuracy of Jonathan Thurston's kicking, I can only say that he did that intentionally. Picked out the least experienced player out wide, aiming at him and hope for a mistake.
Seems like something you would have done. Oh, here they go, they're going to score! Tate!
Try. Second obstruction.
Tate!
Okay.
It's gone in. Checking will say try, but
we
he
have
wants
tried. Please
it
check
checked for obstruction.
Yeah, the pocket referee standing behind the Cowboys side of the scrum screamed out, check it, check it. So checking is checking it. It looked like a lovely work play off the back of the scrum. Let's have a look. Halfback peels out. That's no problem there at all. Lovely work. That's a training play. They just put that in for this week. Halfback peels off, the scrum breaks, out they come, and Brent Tate, who packed into the scrum, the centre, races over for the first try of the game. Brilliantly, brilliantly worked. Nothing wrong with that.
Jonathan Wright pointing at Matthew Bowen and alleging that he was the obstruction, but he's just gone through a gap and Wright was right on Bowen. So there's the try. It's been given in the early seconds. It's the real Super Saturday, and it's away with a bang for the Cowboys. We're back in a moment. So Brent Tate won a grand final with Brisbane in '06, scoring the try inside the first 3 minutes, and Jonathan Thurston, who Wally Lewis is positive, kicked it straight at the most inexperienced young Fecky on the wing. Try converted.
And that's basically an old play that teams used to use quite consistently. I remember Carl Webb scoring a try in a State of Origin game. Same horse, different eyebrows. That move, it works nearly every time you use it.
Holden Cup today to Penrith. They beat Roosters, aggregate score of 70, 48-22 the Panthers, winning in Holden Cup.
Hold! Go.
Plus Jason takes a heavy shoulder charge there. With an arm involved, I should say. Got to be careful when you're describing shoulder charges, but there was an arm involved there from Wade Graham, the tireless second rower for Cronulla. But an awful start to the Sharks, and Thurston gets the ball away, and this is Linnett over there on the far side of the ground, playing the ball on the 40-metre line. They're down Cronulla's end, and again Thurston, he puts a kick down in towards the corner where Fecky is defending, and Gordon it is that comes up with the ball and will play it a few metres out from his own line. So again Cronulla with their backs to the wall, and the Cowboys now have to be careful they don't give a penalty and let them out easily. 6-0 to score, and Tamo blocking down the centre with the help there of Hall and Cooper, the second rowers. Hall in 12, Cooper in 11, and Fafita plays the ball. Morris goes away, searching for a penalty possibly from a marker that wasn't quite adjacent. Then a kick from Thurston, it ricochets into the arms of Thurston. So far so good for the Cowboys. Everything is bouncing their way, and Linnett comes swerving back and around, and he'll play the ball just outside the 30-metre line. Played a couple of years here. This was his home ground through 10 and 11. Now for Cooper, who has scored 3 tries against Cronulla in the 2 matches they've played this year. This is Robert Louis. Now for Tamo. So the fourth tackle. Louis to the line. He goes back and gets it behind a decoy to Bowen. So Matt playing the ball, and here they are in the last, and a little kick that is excellently taken. Super reflexes by Fafita. And now Fecky, this is the best thing he can do, is get the ball under the wing and get some confidence back. Now for Graham. And the Sharks run it across towards the front rowers with Scott and Tamo. Put him away, 30 out.
They've just got to hang in here, the Sharks. The Cowboys have started. They've got right into their gear straight away, haven't they? Everything they've done is excellent. So Sharks have just got to hold on here.
Gallon and Lewis both got themselves out very, very wide on that play. And they're just over the halfway line now, the Sharks. So they get their first sight of Cowboys territory, and Tagatisi has gone through and brushed a couple away. He plays it 20 metres out from the line. Now the Sharks, they get their turn. Beautiful ball, Pomeroy out the back. Bo Ryan scores. Bo Ryan scores for the Sharks. A classic backline play. Started with a couple of forwards out wide. And then Pomeroy was given the mandatory pass that they must have, the centres these days, for Bo Ryan to score.
We'll put it down to Tagatisi. Storming run up the middle of the field. I said they needed to settle down. Well, that'll settle you down. And from there, Todd Carney, there's no one better off the break of play in setting up the outside supports and igniting the speed men out wide. And Bo Ryan hits back.
No better way to answer the start that they had than to score a try of that magnitude. It started way, way back with Tagatisi making a brilliant contribution, and then Gallon got wide, Lewis got wide, and then of course Tagatisi, as I said, he was to the fore, and then Bo Ryan, one of the classic finishes off a classic pass from Pomeroy. So Bo Ryan jogs back down the park. So it's 6-4, they've got a kick for goal from the touchline.
Well, it's an incredible set of six there from the Sharks. They got that ball deep in their own territory in the left-hand corner, and 6 tackles later, score up the other end in the right-hand corner. And that's the longest way you have to go to score on a football field. But it was just good control, good power. Tagatisi with the surge. Carney and Pomeroy set up Bo Ryan. Now Michael Gordon from out wide. Sharpshooter, this boy.
Well, you should know he's a former Panther, and his kick is on line. The touch judges, they don't move. Darren Lockyer, sideline duties today.
Yeah, you hear coaches talk about play the ball speed. Have a look at this one here. Luke Lewis fights to get up here. And Tagatisi, as we've already mentioned, he's the one that creates this play with the momentum up the front. Great run. Gordon there for the offload, doesn't come, but then speed at the line. Todd Carney comes through. Pomeroy, great offload. Great try of the Sharks.
Fafita then the first recipient of the restart of play. And now it's away to Graham, and Graham is taken by Jason. And in behind is Reece Muller. So Reece Muller in 13. A couple of these players, I've got to be honest, I haven't seen before, but Lewis is now taken in an ankle tapping tackle by Thurston, and he's clamped over the top by Scott. They're right on halfway. Here's Gallon again, and running towards the smaller players if he can find one. That time he found the lock, Reece Muller. And now they go back to the boot of Carney, and Carney is shut down by Gavin Cooper. Officials are happy with the tackle back on Carney.
Well, that's another great set of 6, isn't it? They're giving the ball back to their opposition, a yard out from their own line.
Thurston then running off a Tate pass. This is Linnett. He's outside the 10. He's gone out to the 20. And of course, at 8:30 tomorrow night, the rise of 2 legendary empires. When Kerry Packer steps out of his father's shadow in Power Games, it's the must-see conclusion of Power Games at 8:30 on 9. You'll see that through Win and NBN. And if you missed last Sunday, It is a wonderful show.
That was a bad penalty there for the Sharks. They had the Cowboys under control and late in the tackle count, and that just relieves the pressure and brings the visitors back onto the attack.
Kane Linnett playing the ball just inside the 40-metre line. Tamo is tackled right in the middle of the ground. That's the 30-metre line as the high cameras pick it up for you. Now from Jason to Lord and Louis to Hall. And Glenn playing the ball, 15 out now. 6 points all. Scott swings it on. Thurston gets it now. Tamo has put it down embarrassingly.
Well, that was JT to JT. The two JTs. There's actually three JTs.
And then it was a rather jittery take at the same time. There's another JT.
He goes across field. He throws a dummy, then heads out and wants Tamo to come back on the inside, and Tamo snatches at the ball and puts it down, and that takes the pressure off the Sharks. So that was going so smoothly early. All of a sudden,
wait for the outcall. Wait for
some poor defence and an error creeps into their play, and it's the Cowboys that are thinking twice.
Pomeroy, who I thought in a match a few weeks ago was really seriously injured, and his season might have been closing down, but he's played a major part in that try for Bo Ryan to get us back to the 6 points all score line in the knockout elimination final, the first of two over the weekend. Lewis now.
Yeah, losers leave the country here. I love these games. I love it when your season's on the line. You win, you move on. You lose, you leave the country.
Robson,
You're out of play.
you have a habit of making things sound quite dramatic.
It is dramatic.
Here's Bowen.
It's finals time.
No, I wasn't being critical of you. I love it, the way you're embellishing. Alugia. I think the media guy was telling us his name was Olungia with an invisible N in front of the G, but he said to the media, I want to be called Alugia. So that's just another way you can trip over your tongue. Now for Louis to come back, for Thurston to go out. Oh, what a ball. And down the right side is Alugia, wearing the number 10.
Gee, that was a beautiful ball
two,
from Jonathan Thurston. That was marvellous from Thurston.
So the kick is going down just to the right of the uprights, and Bo Ryan just getting back into the field of play. It wasn't a real enthusiastic chase by the Cowboys.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to say that I'm sure Coach Neil Henry will get a message straight out there. That was a golden opportunity to perhaps push the Sharks in behind their own line and get a restart.
Pomeroy able to unload, and this is Bo again, Bo Ryan on the 30, his own 30. Carney breaking the ball away. There's a deflection. It'll go down to Bowen in the bright pink boots.
Well, he was searching for a 40-20 there, Todd Carney. He's one of the best in the business, but I really think he just miskicked that. We've got a problem now with Matty Bowen, is it? Down injured?
Yes, it is.
I'm not sure if we're waiting to have a look at this, whether it was anything untoward in the tackle.
Give me a block. How do you get a block and hold it?
Matty holding his neck. Let's have a look. No, there's nothing there. Unless he gets one of these crushes on the way down. A wedgie maybe. Play on.
Absolutely nothing in that. Tate, and they were there too long.
You need to be quicker than that.
Brad Fittler is also on the sidelines.
Good afternoon, Ray. Semi's in the sun. Doesn't get any better. What to say, Michael Gordon. His first couple of runs have been excellent. Just watch in the manner in which he spears behind the Cowboys' ruck. It's been getting the Sharks on the front foot.
Keep coming, Sharks. Keep coming all the way.
So the Sharks in defensive mode, with Tate taking the free kick. And it's gone through the hands of Louis. And it'll be play. Oh, that's a rake. That's a rake on Matt Scott, and the penalty goes to the Cowboys.
What are you doing, mate? Hang on. We're taking a tap. I'll come and speak to you next time, mate. I'll come and take your next stoppage. Wait. Taking the 2 or not? Taking the 2.
So we're
Come now, mate.
going to take the
Call.
2.
Well, I'm sure we'll get a closer look at it, but boy, oh boy, that did appear to be
I know,
fairly
mate, but he's
obvious.
all right to do it now. Not sure, mate. We had a call for rake, and we made the decision. We made the decision, mate. It's never going to be changed.
And that's not going to be changed, but sure, you've got to know who stripped it.
And just to explain, the game brought in this, what you're seeing here unfold with Matt Checken and Paul Gallen, that these captain challenges, verbal challenges, as you watch the replay, the referee is entitled to send him away and tell him he'll come to him at the next break in play. So that's what you saw
John,
unfold
take it back,
there.
thanks, mate.
John Morris had a hold of the ball there, but I don't know that he actually stripped it. And as he let go of it, so too did the man in the possession. And that's why they called the strip. It's an easy mistake to make. Johnny Morris just re-signing with the Sharks for another year.
Thurston then from 12 out, and he kicks it down into the southern end of the ground. And the Cowboys go out to a 2-point lead, 8-6 after 17 minutes. And a warm welcome to all our viewers watching in North Queensland today. Watching the only Queensland side left in the battle for the Telstra Premiership.
Wally, you happy with the decision to take the 2 points there? Any lead a good lead?
I think so. A final score, perhaps. I'm a little bit surprised, actually, with a team that has Jonathan Thurston elects to take 2 points. Usually when he's in that area, it's danger times for the opposition.
Tamo then, 15 away from his own line.
Oh, boy. Wait.
Fafita, and out there now for the Sharks is Tupou, Anthony Tupou.
Held! Release now. Come back
Second
and
game
hold, mate.
tonight, the Roosters up against Manly, exclusively live. A penalty, but he's lost the ball. The scrum will go
Take the scrum,
down,
mate.
and it is Reece Muller who's put it down.
Thanks, mate.
And that's the one problem with just taking the 2 points at the other end of the field. You've got to go back to your own end and work it away. And if you come up with an error like this, suddenly you're in danger of getting behind on the scoreboard. I appreciate the opportunity to put your nose in front, but I guess the pressure's on that next set of 6. And if you have a fumble like that, then you're the one back under pressure.
And that's exactly where they are. The Cowboys inside the 20-metre line. Scrum, Robson, away to Anthony Tupou. And he's 12 metres out from the
Come
line.
back and hold, Joel. Wait, mate.
Louis, the major tackler. Now for Robson, then for Gallen. Sharks
Release
down
now.
by 2 at the moment.
Make
We're
the line.
practically to the quarter-way mark of this sudden death final as Carney puts it on the stomach of Graham, and Wade Graham plays the ball. John Morris goes right side and he finds Carney, who goes to Gallen, and it's away for Robson, and then to Luke Lewis out very wide. So Lewis playing it for Robson, back and down for Gallen, then for Carney, then for Tupou. Not held in the tackle, back for Gallen, and they're covering a lot of territory, maybe not going forward, and they're just inside the 20-metre line as they ring up the 5th tackle on this set. And Carney kicks, it might have come off the edge, and it's been raked down by Cronulla, comes down to the Cowboys, and the shark that went up has come down injured. I think it's Lewis. Now Winterstein comes away for the Cowboys.
Keep coming all the
Lewis
way.
trying to get back on his feet. And Bowen swerving. Louis is with it now.
Move now.
And they're just outside the 30-metre line. Lewis is jogging back. Getting in the line out wide on the right as
Now release.
Tamo barges ahead to within about 7 metres of the halfway. Now for Reece Muller. 4th tackle gone. Cross Jason, giving it to the 16, who's out there for the Cowboys, Scott Bolton. So played by him in the middle of the ground to the boot of Louis. Sent it down towards Gordon, under his uprights. And Michael Gordon is taken on the 10-metre line. And again, failing to rise off the tackle player quickly enough. Sharks stand and applaud. Cost Jason, the offender. former Stormer.
I've got to say, that is one of the most frustrating times to give away a penalty. You do all the hard work to get into field position, kick, sprint down to get the tackle, and then before you get a chance to keep them in their own territory, simply let them out of jail free.
This is Lewis.
Hold.
De Gois is out there at dummy half now. Fafita is the man that ran off De Gois.
Release! That's okay.
They've got a good bench, Cronulla, on paper. De Gois, Heinzen, Bakuya and Tupou. As they spin it along this line out towards Pomeroy. Bolton, the tackler. Just into Cowboys area. And the captain, Gallen. De Gois across the face of one to Robson, to Graham. Graham puts a kick in, and Wright is afterwards, but Bowen was there first. And it's taken by Fecky and Graham back on his 10-metre line. Now Brent Tate, who got the first try in the very early seconds of this game.
I just wonder how Matty Bowen's feeling today, how his preparation has been, because he had that big home game for the last game of the season. He's retiring at the end of the year. He scored a couple of late tries and kicked a goal. The big crowd, it's an enormously emotional time, and then he's got to come off that and get ready for a semi-final in Sydney.
Well, the Cowboys coming towards halfway with Tamo. Plus Jason for Louis. Stabbing right foot kick down. It's gone out on the full. That's a victory there for the Cronulla side.
Well, dear, oh dear. Look, the coach is feeling what I'm feeling. There's absolutely no reason for that error. He's just miskicked it. He sprayed it. The idea was good. The percentage play, put it down in the corner, make Cronulla work off their line, but at the last moment, doesn't concentrate, and the ball skewers off into the crowd.
Tupou flopping it back down for De Gois, to go back for Gordon, to go back for De Gois. And De Gois is away from Thurston. Held by Cooper and Reece Muller. Now Carney, Lewis. Byington's in the game now. Carney, Gallen, Graham. Wade might get rid of this. Not now, he won't. 20 metres out. Cronulla attacking. And Byington, his first run of the game. 8-6, the Cowboys leading. And Carney puts a kick in. Oh, that's well read by a second rower. Glenn Hall, I think it is. But he's lost the ball. Well, he might have read it well, but he's dropped it. It was at close range, though. It was point-blank range, really.
I've always been of the belief that players in the front line shouldn't snatch at these balls. They should leave it for the men at the back. Hall was trying to get out of the way. He actually drops it on the way down. He was trying to get out of the way of it, but it hit him, and then he took a second grab at it. But generally, you leave those kicks for the wingers and fullbacks. That's their job. The Brent
sideline, Brad.
Yeah, I think the speed in which Carney attacked that kick put some real pressure on Glenn Hall to have a go at the ball. And I've got to excuse Robert Louis a bit. Just before he kicked that ball, the wind dramatically picked up. It's coming from the east-southeast, Rabbi.
Southeast?
East-southeast.
Oh, east-southeast. I'm sorry.
All right, fellas. Seconds lock. Come together.
He loves doing the weather.
A big opportunity here for the Sharks.
Shane Flanagan perched away. Out. In the coaching box. Outside of Sharpie. Here's Gordon, and he got it away in time. They're over the line. Did they get the ball down? Perenara's going to say, I think a try.
Robbo, tackle one. I've got a try.
Yeah.
Check for a grounding, please, mate.
It's high fives. I think it's Pomeroy.
Well, it's a big right foot step from Michael Gordon. Brad Fettler was just saying his first couple of runs are good, and this is the strength of Michael Gordon's game, his running game. He gets what we call an out ball from Carney, gets him moving to his right, and then he straightens up off the right foot. And he's able to get it down. Here's the grounding here. They seemed very confident, Cronulla, when he went in. It's hard to imagine that ball hasn't hit the turf.
They've put themselves under enormous pressure.
There it is.
Haven't they, the Cowboys, a couple of times?
Yeah.
They've invited Cronulla to visit this in goal a couple of times. Now they've paid the penalty. Does he come down on the arm of Linnett?
No, the ball's on the ground with this one. We saw it 3 takes ago. Why do we go back and keep looking at it? There it is there. What's the problem?
Yeah, that's got some grass, even though Linnett might have an arm under there.
But we saw that 3 replays ago.
So it is a try. Back with more of our semi-final from Allianz in just a moment. Ben Pomeroy. Big, strong man. As I said only a few weeks ago, he was stretchered off. And there was great doubt that his season would continue. Here he is getting himself a try, and he gave the final pass to the previous try as well. Yeah, Ben Pomeroy was the man underneath that maul of Cowboy would-be defenders. I mentioned earlier that he was injured badly, and he today has scored a try and gave the final pass for Bo Ryan's try. And now Michael Gordon, who just doesn't miss. And so the Sharks are the new leaders. 12-8 after 26 minutes.
Yeah, it's the pass from Carney. Carney gets Gordon moving to his right, and then he's able to straighten up. What's his zing? Gets him going right, then he straightens up off the right foot. And he's got a back rower marking him in the back line there, and I don't know how many times we look at that this year. But Gavin Cooper, the 11, defending out of the scrum, gets one-on-one with Michael Gordon. It's a mismatch every time. Wally, why do they have forwards marking backs in the back line? What, has the game changed that much?
Gus, I'm not a fan of it. I think they only do it out there to try and guard Jonathan Thurston a little bit. They're quite used to seeing Luke Lewis run at him, but well, there's a real relief for North Queensland. But I agree with you, Gus. I don't see the common sense in it other than to provide support for Jonathan Thurston.
Well, the modern day coaches tell me that they do it so that after the first tackle after the scrum, everyone's in their defensive positions. But they didn't get the tackle 2 there because they had a forward marking a forward marking a back. I mean, Gavin Cooper and Michael Gordon one-on-one. What do you think's going to happen?
So the Cowboys in the scrum in good field position for them. And Glenn Hall plays it back to the deputy dummy half, Jaden Hodges. Related to Justin. And they're inside the 20 immediately as he unloads, and Scott Bolton takes it to 5, 4 metres out. So at the moment, it's a pendulum. It's swinging from one to the other.
Space on the left.
Tamo, Wally wants it on the left. They've come to the right, and here's Thurston jinking before taking the tackle. So here's the blindside shot, and it's gone back to Fecky, and it'll be a line dropout restart for Cronulla.
Nice play there from Matty Bowen, very experienced. He saw that Jonathan Thurston was playing the ball, so he stepped up, demanded the ball at first receiver, and just feathers one into the in goal to get the restart. There it is. Beautifully done.
Just looking at the scoreboard from that most recent match between these two clubs, there was never anything between them. It was 12 all at half-time, 18 all with 25 to go before the Cowboys ran away to win 31-18. And it's got a similar structure about it today. As Scott takes it back to the middle of the ground, Hyington and Lewis making the tackle. That's Reece Muller, 25 away. Roosters Manly live at 7 tonight, 6:30 the telecast. With our preview of the game. And the Cowboys with the 17 out there, Taumalolo. Now for Bolton. So correct me if I'm wrong, the only member of the bench not out there yet is Sims as they go away. Cooper, he's 3 tries this year against Cronulla. I think this might be denied. It is. It's held up in goal.
Now, he's Jonathan Thurston's go-to man, Cooper, and he'll keep feeding him and feeding him and feeding him. And then a little later in the game, he'll miss him and go out the back to Matty Bowen. But
Wait.
very dangerous on that edge.
Fifth and last.
They've got a couple left here, and they could have kept going left, but he came back in, and Louis puts a kick over the top. Oh, there's Fecky's with it again, and another line dropout will see the restart. I think they might have had an overlap on the left there, the Cowboys, before. I think it was Scott who chopped back in. Wally, did you see it that way?
Yeah, I thought that there was a little bit of space out there. Sometimes I think that perhaps they're just sticking to a plan that they come up with 2 or 3 plays before. Managing to shift the ball to the right side. It's a very well-positioned kick, though, from Robert Louis. It's earned them another chance. What a huge drop kick, 60 metres.
That's a massive drop kick. That is with that southeasterly behind it, as Brad pointed out, and Carney was the kicker. Bolton plays the ball. Scott has the carry. 12-8 the score. Cronulla in front. 2 tries to 1 after the Cowboys got the first. And here's the Thurston-Bowen combination. Snuffed out there by Tupou. Now for Reece Muller. Back for Louis in the deep. Back for Thurston, even deeper. Now for Tate. Flick pass. And here it is with Alungi. Oh, he's come down short. It's in the in goal.
No advantage.
And it's a knock-on back in the field of play against Cronulla.
Wow.
Mate, straight to scrum for me, mate.
He was just about to put this down. Did he lose it or did someone knock it loose? But some swift ball movement to the right. The flick pass from Brent Tate. Here he is going out. And his elbow hit the ground before he could reach out with the ball, and it just shook it loose. He can't believe it, the young fella.
Wonder how his eyes are feeling.
All the way in. All the way in. Stay there.
Okay.
Ball in.
Jonathan Wright, formerly Parramatta, formerly Canterbury, and we're about 9 minutes away from half-time. And our first game is Lewis charges up towards the 30-metre line with Michael Gordon, his former Penrith teammate, screaming for the ball. Hyington is with it. Now for Gallen. Takes by Ryan with him, and Ryan is put down right in the middle of the ground. De Gois, Robson, and the tackle's okay. You heard the ref call it. Bowen fields it back on his 10, runs a little loop, runs an arc, comes out the other side. He'll play it on his own 20-metre line.
Come back.
Comment on the sideline again from Darren.
Yeah, both coaches right now be thinking how crucial a half-time lead is. The Cowboys' record is they've been in front 11 times to go on and win 10. The Sharks have been in front 9 times at the break to go on and win all of those.
This is Hodges. I think he's a cousin of Justin. And Thurston kicks in between fullback and winger. The bounce probably favoured the Cowboys a little bit, but they didn't have a man there in time. Gordon plays the ball right with a run. He's in the middle of the ground. He's inside the 30-metre line. Thurston and Hodges make the tackle. Ryan gets rid of Thurston, runs it across the ground, beats another. Now he's tackled on the 40-metre line. Out wide by Winterstein and Linnett. And now Bakuya brings it up towards halfway. Down that eastern side. They've kept pumping down there. They had success with the combination of Pomeroy and Ryan at the 25th minute of the game, and they've just kept going back there. Oh, gee, eventually, they had to knock it dead. It would not bounce for him. Alugia.
Well, he needed to take it the first time. And he gave it 2 bounces here to let it do the right thing, and it didn't. It comes down. He should have caught this, and he decided to let it bounce. Well, that's the second bounce, actually. The first one came down, and then it went up in the air, and it came down again.
Stay behind.
He's had an interesting couple of minutes in the game, hasn't he?
As the ball tends to do, gravity is the blame for that. It's coming down, and it goes up.
A drop kick, not so bad really, into the breeze on a fairly low trajectory. And this is Anthony Tupou.
Gee, the Sharks have been impressive, making plenty of territory, making 50 or 60 metres every time they cart the ball.
Gallen. Sharks attacking again. They've had plenty of opportunities.
Let go.
Third tackle gone. So they're just 15 metres out from the line. And Hyington runs at Reece Muller.
Let go of the leg. Make the line.
To the right side. No surprises. Carney got it away, but Clear is short of the line. Held by Thurston. Try saver from JT. De Gois hesitates. Gives the ball out to Graham. He rolls it into the in-goal. Bowen is hoping and praying, but it's a line dropout off him.
They're under enormous pressure here, the Cowboys. Players hands on hips, hands on knees, bending over. Shortly in the half-time break, we're going to examine the first try to the Cronulla Sharks, which we said went the length of the field. We thought in 6 plays, but there is some evidence emerged that it was in 7 tackles. The first Cronulla try. Brad Fittler and the boys at half-time will examine that set of 6 and see whether or not we've had a 7-tackle try. We haven't had one of those for a while, Brad.
Switch back on board. Ball everything.
Big cheerio to Greg Hartley. Hollywood will be watching. Gordon.
Good talk, Rabbits.
I can say it, he's a mate of mine. Away to Carney now. And Carney! Almost through. Carney being bounced around like a cork in the ocean over there. Long ball away to Hyington. And a quick go by De Gois. He's over the line. I don't think he'll get it down. He's held up. Now he's given a penalty.
Go, Ted. Go back, Ted, if you want. No, mate, I'm not here. I'm not.
See that wind is whistling down the ground there. You can see it affecting the referee's jersey. The players' jerseys are too tight.
You're going to tap, let me get out of the way. Okay.
They're not kicking to goal, they're taking the tap.
Gallen. Almost there.
Now, Marcus square.
There's Hyington and has come back to Robson. And Robson, 5 metres out, cut down. Louis and Cooper, ball lost. Robson losing the ball. Just going back to De Gois, I'm trying to fathom what the penalty was for.
Offside. They're saying the markers were offside, Rabbits, in front of the line when he dived for the dummy half scoop.
So he played an advantage, is that what you're saying?
He played an advantage, and when it wasn't a try, he gave the penalty. Just repeating at half-time, the boys are going to go through that first Cronulla try. Suggestions it may have been scored on the 7th tackle.
Matt, all the way in place.
I thought I saw the 5th tackle sign go up when Tagatese made his run. But we'll examine it. It can happen.
Let go! Let go!
Tamalolo. Now Louis dancing up to the opposition. Well, the body language you're getting out of this game, I don't know how you're reading it. It looks to me like Cronulla have control of the steering wheel at the moment anyway.
Oh, they're way on top.
Penalty goes Cowboys. They needed this.
They're way on top, Cronulla Sharks, but they do this a lot. You know, some days they find points easily, other days they struggle to score tries. And this is one of those days where physically they look as though they're well on top, but they only lead by 4 points on the scoreboard. So the Cowboys have still got their foot on the till here.
Just over 2 minutes out from the break, and Reece Muller is taken on the first. He's 28 metres away from the line. And a dummy by Hodges. He streaks through. He's down to the line. Short by a metre. Good dart out of there by the dummy half. Now it's on to Thurston. And Thurston has a ring around him. An umbrella-type defence came up. He played the ball. There's a shark in the back of it. It was Hyington. And it didn't help the Cowboys with Hodges offloading to Reece Muller. He's taken by Carney and put down on the 4th tackle. And now it's come away, and Taumalolo tries to get across the line. So we stand by for the bomb. Thurston's in position. Here comes, no, it's gone through the hands. It's out to Louis, puts a kick in, came off a shark. I don't think he played at it. The referee said yes, he did. 6 more tackles. Thurston examines the referee's call, it slows things down and gives it to Cooper.
Well, this will be the last set of 6 before half-time, so the Cowboys, they get last say in this first half. Sharks need to hold on.
Play by Scott. Hodges, Louis goes over towards the left side. Jensen comes back as that defence again harnesses the Cowboys. Scott getting it back and away from Louis again. And now it's gone to Reece Muller and he'll play the ball. So here they come again with Hodges throwing the dummy and he's taken the ground. And 4 tackles are gone for the Cowboys. And it's come to Louis again, and now he's gone to Cooper, and Cooper is easily taken around the legs by Robson. Here's Tate getting it away. It's gone from Scott, gone to Bowen, puts a kick in the back, and it's going to be line drop out. Bo Ryan put it dead. So they will soak up the 15 seconds, you would imagine.
I don't know whether they were watching the clock then. Having a ball in behind the line wasn't going to do too much for them unless they could get to the ball first and plant it.
So it is half-time, and the Sharks would be feeling pretty happy with themselves. They gave up a 6-point try in the 3rd minute of the game, and then Bo Ryan at the 8th and Ben Pomeroy at the 25th has taken the Cowboys, or should I say the Sharks, to the halftime lead. Darren Lockyer down on the ground. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, thanks, Rose. Paul, you probably had more of the running in that first half, but you only see yourselves in front by 4.
Oh, yeah, mate, that's all right. You know, they started off well, so I think it's pretty even, to be honest. So they defended well and we defended well at the end.
What are you going to do in the second half? Thanks.
Okay, Darren, thank you. Coming up in Holden halftime controversy was Cronulla's first try scored on the 7th. That's next in Holden halftime. We're at the finals with 9 exclusive.
And I can tell you, Ray, that we have been in contact with referee's boss Daniel Anderson. He's here at the ground, and he said that 7-tackle try is an error. There was no 0 tackle call. The tackle count was mistaken. And it is an error, so they won't be making excuses for that blunder.
Taumalolo it is with the ball, and that probably, if it is able to be snuffed out quickly, that's the quickest way to snuff it out, I suppose. He's lifted high into the air, Bolton. Eventually he was gentled down. And now it's gone away to Cooper. Their start, the Cowboys start, was more vigorous. It had a lot more enthusiasm about it. They got a bit tired towards the end of the half. Thurston, kick not played at, we heard. And it's with Gordon, and Thurston does the honours back on the Cronulla 20-metre line. That is Fecky.
Well, one will hope the Cronulla players haven't heard about the 7-tackle try, because you don't want that sort of thing on your mind. They've just got to get on and play the game. But it would be a cruel blow for them, given what happened on this ground at this time last year with the Kieran Foran incident, that they bow out again as a result of the 7-tackle try.
Tupou. De Gois, Robson, plugging it into the corner and finding the line. So it's a scrum restart, just outside the Cowboys' 10-metre line.
And a good set of 6 for the Sharks. They'll be very pleased with that. The Cowboys, perhaps, they'll be a little bit disappointed. 2 or 3 times in that set of 6, they had both defenders left on the ground. The speed of the play the ball for Cronulla this afternoon has been fantastic. It has put them on a roll since about the 4th or 5th minute of the game.
All the way in. Bind together. Jonathan, bind with them. All the way in. Stay there.
This is Bolton. First play. Now for Taumalolo, who people had him going for superstardom. It just seems to have been this punctuation mark in his career this season.
Yeah, look, it's a big leap from under 20s to first grade, and we get carried away with kids that are starring in the under 20s. You're a long, long way away from NRL football unless you're absolutely exceptional, particularly for the forwards.
Here's Thurston. Thurston running off a Louis pass, and Cronulla have got defenders around him. He's still going, Thurston. Brilliant run by the skipper. Last tackle now, out to Louis. Louis puts a kick in, it'll go dead.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear, what a disappointing end of the set of 6. Brilliant work by Thurston. He had players looming up in support inside and out, but the Sharks scrambled well to cut off those avenues. And in the end, he was pulled down inches short.
Well, the Cowboys now are struggling to get a reasonable percentage of players onside. They're dangerously close to giving a penalty. Now Carney running at Thurston, unloading. Bakuya's with the ball. And Cronulla counter-punching. Robson. Graham. Robson again. Gallen running it back to the blind. And he's 12 metres out. The last for De Gois. Carney, they've stacked the blind. He puts a little kick on it. And Bowen read it beautifully.
We're only a few minutes into this second half, but I've got to say the Cowboys look slow and lethargic, and the Sharks are full of energy. A number of these Cowboys players walking right through that set of 6 in defence. Just didn't regroup at all.
Scott with a short ball to another forward, a la the Canterbury style of play. It was Cooper, and now Thurston, and now Taumalolo. And Taumalolo almost through the tackle of De Gois. He's been recalled to play the ball. Jason. Now for Louis, and Louis stabbing this kick down low. It's heading towards the dead ball. Will it go? Will it go? Yes, it does. So back to the 20, and I would hope the Cowboys regroup better this time than they did just a matter of a minute ago. They have. Sharks just repeating, scoring a try on the 7th tackle. It's been confirmed. Our suspicions confirmed at half-time and confirmed by the referee's boss, Daniel Anderson, as an error. And here is the man that scored the try, and here is a penalty. They came up with the boot. It's an innocuous thing to do, but it's so visible to the referees.
Yeah, they're doing it because they can't keep up with the play. Bo Ryan got into the backfield there, and they've got to hold on because they can't get set in defence. They're in trouble here, the Cowboys. The Sharks are full of running, and the Cowboys look lethargic. They half look spent.
You can see it there, Jonathan Thurston giving the players a bit of a mouthful. He knows unless they step up to the mark at the moment, they are in enormous trouble.
So we'll see how tired they are here. Bakuya on the second play is 18 metres out from the southern uprights. And De Gois drifting, Robson pushing, Carney floating, and Fecky throws the ball in. The touch judge said it's okay. Jonathan Wright runs it back, and he's taken 15 out from the line on 3. Still the danger is there for the Cowboys. Intercepted! Intercepted by the Cowboys. And Olugia is away down the right. Robson chases. He's not gaining quickly enough. And Alugia, after a mixed day at the office, scores for the Cowboys. Well, that is exactly what they needed. It was like, that will be, I would think, like an injection of life. There's nothing like a try to tell you that you're not tired. I said it in calling that try, he's had a mixed day at the office, this young man, Wayne Alugia. And that's the injection they needed, Gus, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he was beaten on the outside in the previous play. They came back to try again, and Alugia this time snaps up the ball. There's only one chasing, it's Robson, but the young fella spirits away. And could that be the turning point for his team, who looked down and out? They were gone, out on their feet. The Sharks were coming in for the kill. And they went with one long pass too many, and this young man, like you say, he's had some ordinary moments, some mixed fortunes, but he's come up with a big play there. And if Thurston can kick this from the sideline and edge his team in front, it could just well fill the lungs with air. What a play.
6 tries in 4 games for Wayne Alugia. And he couldn't have pulled out the 6th try at a better time. His team were panting. And he snapped up an intercept. So Jonathan in the familiar mouth guard. 25 out, hooking it, scrambling it across the face of the uprights. So they are again, as I said earlier, in a familiar situation. They were 12 all at halftime. Here's the try again. And away he goes.
Well, Carney got him 2 tackles earlier. He went long to the wing, and Fecky got around his man, looked like going into touch, had to pass the ball back in field. So Carney couldn't wait to get his hands on the ball again, and so let's go back there. Threw the long ball, and this time Alugia picked him off.
Third time in 5 minutes they actually attacked him.
Cooper now, I was going to say, 12 all at half-time down at Ramondis the other day, a fortnight ago. 18 all, 25 to go, and then the Sharks ran away to, I think it was a 31-18 victory. The Cowboys ran away to 31-18. So it's unfolding in a similar fashion, although none of that diminishes the comments of Phil Gould and Wally Lewis. They look tired, but will that be like an injection of life for them, that try? Against the run of play, played by Taumalolo. Now for Louis, takes it to the line, and Thurston wraps out wide again. He's had a bit of success out there. Now they come to Louis again, and Tamo kneels on the ground and gets out of the road. It's battered down by Linnett. Knocked on, I thought. Referee said yes, it was knocked on by the lock forward Reithmuller.
Well, despite a disappointing finish, that is easily the Cowboys' best set of the game. Confidence is a wonderful thing.
Got to get your markers up. I have to get your markers up.
It's about the third time today that Jonathan Thurston's been tackled on tackle 5, and the 5th tackle option's been left up to Robert Louis, and his kicking game hasn't been strong.
Right, Gavin,
if Thurston can take over those tackle 5 options, it'll be far better for the Cowboys, I believe.
Luke Lewis taken by 3 Cowboys, including Cos Jason and Reithmuller. Wade Graham coming back into the middle. Halfway line for Graham to play the ball for the Sharks. The men from the Shire, and Gallen goes up into the middle of the ruck, and Gordon is desperate for that short ball. Now De Goyce, now Carney. Carney tries to do it. He's pulled down 12 metres out from the line. 12 points all.
You tried to pass.
He said you tried to pass.
Wait.
But do it again.
Wait.
Now what happened there?
He's
He's saying he tried to pass and dropped it,
Last tackle.
but he'd already called held, so he goes back to play the ball. That's an interesting one.
Perenara it was. Here's Robson, and then it's marked out there by Brent Tate, but it's a penalty. Player held without the ball is the call.
Tackled him in the air as well.
Yeah, Brent Tate goes up for this one. His feet go up off the ground. I mean, I think Wade Graham's coming through to get the ball. He's going for the ball, he says, and he was.
No, I'm sorry, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But he was giving the indication of tackle without the ball.
Or tackled
in mid-air, I should say.
Mid-air, yeah.
I thought he was contesting.
Well, he was.
Seems to me a tough call against the Sharks. I thought Graham was contesting the high ball. Hasn't that caused some palpitations? Players contesting the high ball in the last 24 hours of our game.
I just wonder whether if there's a dodgy decision out there, will it go in the Cowboys' favour because of the 7th tackle try?
Interesting suggestion. Here's Louis. Got almost rid of Robson. Got it away. That's Cooper. Inside 20, down towards 10. And 5 are gone for the Cowboys. They press through from Bowen. Long for Thurston. Will he kick? He does. And beautifully read, but knocked on by Robson. Picked up and play on for Taumalolo. Taumalolo has scored for the Cowboys.
Oh, there's JT number 3. We've got JT number 1, Thurston, JT number 2, Tamau, and JT number 3 comes off the bench, Jason Taumalolo. He picks up the dregs here. He's a strong lad, this fella. Reaches out and puts it down.
Recently, as 7 minutes ago, 2 of the great rugby league minds, and let me make it very clear, I agreed with them, were saying that the Cowboys looked as though they were out of it, out on their feet, and they've scored 2 tries since. Well, there's your try scorer, Jason Taumalolo. I love that, Gus. The 3rd of the JT trifecta. He's only 20, and that's his 9th try. He's playing in his 35th game. This man at 75%. Jonathan Thurston hits it sweetly. Try converted. Darren Lockyer, a change comes over it.
Yes, the Cowboys have got momentum now, and you see that man on screen, one of the JTs. Now, Gus mentioned it earlier, when he was tackled on 5th, their kicking options with Robert Louis just wasn't finding anything positive out of it. This guy's, he knows what to do in these situations. He got it 5th and last then, and something could happen. I'm sure there's plenty more to come.
There's another case, I guess, Gus, of that player up the front trying to snap the ball at first slip rather than letting it go down to somebody deeper.
Absolutely. I mean, Michael Gordon had it covered at the back. There's no reason for anyone to play at him in the front line. But, you know, when Thurston's got the ball in his hands, he's going to create that sort of uncertainty in the defence line. And that time he got him on tackle 5, and as Darren said, a good result came of it. And now they look full of running. They're charging onto the ball. That intercept from Wayne Aludia.
Yeah.
Is that the turning point?
Well, that's where they took the word tired out of the lexicon or dictionary. With the try went the word tired. Cooper, last tackle, and Thurston putting it into the air, high, and coming after the ball and raking it down is Linnett, and it's taken by Ryan legitimately.
Yeah, and again, Jonathan Thurston, tackle 5, kick right on the money. He's got to get the ball in his hands.
Pomeroy, 20-metre line, his own end. As you can see, 20 metres in from the western side. This is Fecky. elimination, the first elimination final. It's knockout football. And tomorrow, the second of the knockouts between Canterbury and Newcastle over at ANZ Stadium. Roosters and Manly coming up for you at 6:30 after our 6 o'clock news. It's down to Ilugia now. Swerves at Lewis, and Lewis brings him down from behind.
Cowboys, wait.
Tamo. 100 games of first grade. He debuted for the Cowboys back in 2009.
Look how bunched the Cowboys are here behind to play the ball. And they're not going anywhere in this set of 6 other than running from dummy half and hitting it up.
Quick promotion of the football along that clump of players.
Yeah, well, Thurston noticed it and he said, get wide.
And now he gives it to Scott, and Scott has taken right in the middle of the ground. Louis punching it down into the corner. Gordon getting it just outside the line, coming out of that corner over on the eastern side. And he's tackled by Cooper. With 10 out from their own line. Fecky goes over there to lend assistance off his own flank. And now for Wright. And the big centre, they are big centres, aren't they? Jonathan Wright and Ben Pomeroy. They're on the 30-metre line. There's an appeal from Cronulla for a penalty. There's John Morris back into the game, gives the ball for Gallen.
That was great marker defence there from JT number 2. James Tarmow very quickly off the mark.
Inside. So it's okay, says the referee. And
Gee, that's a good kick.
It's gone way down to Bowen. And Bowen's got a ring around him, including Bakuya. He passes and gets it away to Winterstein. Antonio bounces away from 3 of them. Then he heads up the ground. It's a good clear. It's a good clear by Winterstein. Out to the 30. Thurston at dummy half. Linnett, the big centre from the Cowboys, just inside his own 40-metre line. Cost Jason, now for Hall, and they're thumping it up the middle of the ground. Louis now, getting it to Tate, and Tate holds Fecky with one hand. He gets the ball away with the other to Thurston to weave, and Thurston to take it down to the 30-metre line.
Come back.
Bowen a dummy half. Here is Taumalolo. And he's able to shrug away from 3 of them. Stands in another. Gets rid of him. Gets out of another. Still going. Inside 10. Wonderful performance by Taumalolo. Play back to Linnett. Gone to Bowen. Puts the kick in. It'll go dead. Oh, Bowen flew late.
Here he comes, here he comes.
It beat into the line.
Well, he got a few checks in running. He had to dodge a few to find some space to get into the backfield. Nearly a lovely kick. And the Sharks now are the ones under pressure. The Cowboys are dictating the pace of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want any brick walls knocked down, call Jason Taumalolo. He'll do it pretty easily.
That was a brilliant performance by the 20-year-old. There's Gallen confronted by Cost Jason.
Well, it's been all the JTs at the moment, hasn't it? JT 1, 2 and 3.
Lewis, now for Carney. This is Bakuya. They lose him at the end of this year. It's gone back through Carney to Fafita. Calf muscle strain in that game a fortnight ago. Now for Pomeroy. 18 to 12. Runs according to game. I keep referring back to it. It'll go to 18 all, and here's Gordon getting it away. Morris did well. He's got it away to Tagatisi. Tagatisi scores. Cronulla's back. Cronulla's back. They're 2 down now. Conversion to come.
Out of nothing. They were going nowhere, the Cronulla Sharks. Going absolutely nowhere. Passing across field, standing still. And it's Luke Lewis that straightens it up. He goes through. He shrugs through a tackle. Right foot step, right arm offload. Gordon backs up. Gets it on to Morris. Morris back to Tagatisi. And Tagatisi into the in goal. The Sharks are back in it.
sweet it is. How sweet it is, and it is a crazy game. You sit here and you think to yourself, well, they're out on their feet, the Cowboys. And we all said it, and they scored 2 tries. And then we're saying, hang on, Cowboys look like they're in control here. Then Cronulla scored. You can't follow it. There's the try scorer, Sam Tagatisi, with their most recent sponsor. 1 on the front and Pain Away on the sleeve. They were without a sponsor, a major sponsor on the jumper, until halfway through the season. That was another one of their problems. And they gathered up some sponsorship with 1 and Pain Away. So the battle has been fought on many fronts for the Sharks. Right now they're fighting a very big battle though. He needs this, and Gordon takes the paintwork.
Wow.
Darren Lockyer.
This pick-up from Michael Gordon. He's been their best today, I reckon, with the Sharks. But have a look at this for a pick-up. He's running at full pace here, picks it up at the ankles, keeps it alive. Great presence of mind here from Josh Morris. Tagatisi puts the Sharks back in it.
Stay behind.
I'm reminded when I talk about sudden death and knockout football of the only silverware that Cronulla possesses. And that was in an Amco Cup, I think, in '79.
Joel, off the ball.
That, of course, was knockout football, which the younger generation may not remember. Wednesday nights. 2 went out there and only 1 came back. And Cronulla won their only competition in '79 in that particular competition. Lewis now plays the ball. Morris gives it. Robson's with it. Gallen now. Almost to halfway. Right. Robson. Morris. This is Gordon. Big rap. Darren Lockyer. Best on ground. Now Robson kicks, and it's been kicked into the back of Tarek Sims. Did he knock on picking it up?
Knock on, Cowboys.
Yeah, knock on Cowboys. Wow. Tarek might have just
take the scrum,
bobbled the ball. This has become a word that now is used by many of us.
Yeah, he forced the error. He probably didn't need to try and pick this up because he didn't play it at the first time. It would have been last tackle and he gets the ball anyway. He just allows Robson to fall on that. He tackles him and the Cowboys get the ball. Trying to pick it up under pressure like that, he's just handed the game back to the Sharks.
Maybe he should have put it on the boot, waited for a better bounce, or even got it down into the in goal and just put the torso on it. Got up exasperated as if to say, knock on, you're joking, but it was clear cut and knock on. Cronulla then. Wally.
Sorry.
Fecky. Robson. Gallen. Captain.
Release now.
He looks urgent, doesn't he? Carney. Rolling it back on the inside with Fafita. Lost the ball. It's with Cooper for the Cowboys. They lead by 2. And there's 15 minutes to go.
That was really good defence there from the Cowboys. A couple of big hits in that set of 6. Forcing the offload, the bad pass, and they've come up with possession.
Matthew Scott playing with this repaired finger. Broken 2 weeks ago. Surgery and playing today. Wasn't going to miss it, according to Coach Neil Henry. Oh, Luke Lewis has taken a headbutt to the eyebrow. Bowen joins in. Oh, now on the ground is Louis. He's watching the officials. It's okay to play on, apparently, as Thurston delicately puts the ball down into the in goal. But it's gone in touch in goal.
I thought Wally Lewis was going to fall out of the box there. He saw something in the back play.
Nice and calm, boys, okay? Focus on the field.
Luke Lewis got bowled backwards.
It's okay.
He looked like he was in a bit of pain.
The other Louis, Robert Louis, he went down too. Both are okay. Some repairs for Luke. Tagatisi Plays the ball. Morris goes to Carney. Carney on to Bakuya.
Remember too, this is a knockout semi-final. The winner goes on, the loser leaves the country.
Lewis. We're counting it down. Just outside 13 to go. And here's Carney getting it on to Bakuya. And he's 22 metres away from the opposition line. Here they go in the last. Robson puts a kick in. It looks like it might roll point on point, and it does.
Out of the
20-metre restart. He almost had the perfect weight on it.
Gee, Gus, I don't think that was the right option. I thought ball in the air might have been a better one.
Yeah, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you're quite happy with that one. Just diffused the situation for them. There's nothing in this now, is it?
Scott again.
He's been brilliant, Scott. He's out there playing with a broken finger.
Time out. Tackle 2.
A lot of courage.
Luke Lewis.
They're looking at Luke Lewis's. Carney looks as though he's struggling. He's holding onto that hamstring.
And Lewis, that gash on the cheekbone from the head clash with Tamo. Now you can see Todd is trying to,
Trainer, keep going.
if you like, tourniquet the hamstring.
Take him out the back, mate.
A bit of self-repair there from Todd Carney. Probably feels he just needs something tight around that leg to hold the hamstring together.
It's almost like they've run out of trainers.
Release now!
The trainer, though, was simply handing out the bandaging. Here's Louis. And Rob will play the ball just outside 30. Again, the wide shot showing you where the Cowboys are. Thurston, the general. And he goes to his first officer, Gavin Cooper. Cooper loves playing just anywhere off John Thurston's hip. Well, that's a bad kick. And straight down the throat of Gallen, and he's out to the 20-metre line.
It was an awful kick.
Lewis away for repairs. By Ryan, a quick pick up at dummy half. Taken down by Linnett, 35 away from the Cronulla line. And Fafita is picked up. Couldn't quite get him to ground. Where's Todd? He's on the right of play. No knock on. John Morris puts on the acceleration. Tries to put Gordon through a gap. Gordon taken by Cooper. Now it's Morris again. John Morris to the 30-metre line. Gordon to Robson. Robson away. It's gone on then from Tupou to Gallen, and now it's on to Jonathan Wright. Wright is taken. No, not held. It's okay to pass. It's on the ground, but it's Cowboys ball. Robert Louis, 10 out from his own line.
Wow, well, that was some desperate defence there from the Cowboys. Brent Tate screaming to his winger, stay out, I've got him covered. And then there must have been a stride where he thought, maybe I haven't.
John!
But he got him.
Keep coming, hold.
There's Winterstein.
Keep coming.
They need all the help they can get from the wide speed men like this fellow, Linnett, and before him, Winterstein.
Last tackle.
The Cowboys, the last remaining Queensland side in the playoffs. They're in front by 2, and Thurston plugs it down into the in goal and again in touch in goal. 10 minutes to go in the game.
It's absorbing stuff. Both sides now are out on their feet. It's just
when you're ready, Ted.
Individuals coming in with the big effort.
You know what makes it more absorbing? The simple fact that it's sudden death. And to use your embellishment, the loser leaves the country.
Well, it's an imperative time where they've got to start talking on the field. Communication is the #1 issue in defence for the Cowboys and in attack for the Sharks.
News coming up at 6. 6:30 we come back to preview the big one tonight. The second qualifying final, Roosters Manly. It's gone away now for Tupou. It goes to Tagatisi, not a bad man to go to. And they're 35 away from the line. Robson again, Gallen again, goes short into right. And they're 19 away on 5. Gallen then, dummies open side. goes blind, decides to try and kick, picked up by Brent Tate, the most experienced finals player on the Cowboys team. Plays it 20 away from his own line, and now it's with Sims.
Oh, that was a big gamble by Paul Gallen. He had all his teammates out to the right-hand side of the field, and then went himself down a short line for a speculator grubber kick, and the Cowboys work it away. Wally, have they got a Queenslander call amongst them? Is there something Queensland can do to get them home?
I think Jonathan Thurston will have a different one. He'll be waving their arm around, yelling out, Yahoo, Yahoo. Do they want to get in the saddle? It's an important period.
Knock on by Thurston. A ball that was given to him by Bolton.
First Cowboys, both ways. Both ways. Both ways.
Ordering knock on both ways, is he? But he's given the scrum feed to Cronulla.
You said?
Well, Cowboys were claiming that it was knocked on first by Cronulla, but the referees are adamant that the Cowboys knock it on.
No.
Yeah, it comes off Thurston.
It came from... Well, did he get his hands to it? Because looking at that, Robson's knocked it back. I thought it was Bolton giving it to Thurston. And they've ruled a knock on against Thurston, giving the scrum feed to Cronulla. Gordon is taken on the 30-metre line. We're on the western side. We're going to the middle now. Fafita. Now we're down to 8 minutes of time remaining. The Cowboys are 2 points in front. And here it is with Anthony Tupou. He's 15 out on 3. Taken by Cooper. Given away by Bakuya. Carney Fafita.
Ball, make the line, make the line.
18-16. 7.5 to go. Robson with a lovely long pass. It bounces away for Fecky. And Fecky scores just where they threatened to score several times in the game. Referee consulting touch judge. Hold everything.
Robbo, we have a try. Please check touch and goal.
I don't think there's a drama with this one, but again, when they needed the points, they go to their left. They look to get outside the youngster, Alugia, and it's Fecky that may have got the one to advance the Sharks further. He's got an open run. He's well inside the touchline. No problems. No problems at all. It was a wonky old pass. It bounced first, but he had plenty of room.
Fecky gets such a valuable try. Back at Allianz Stadium, and Cronulla are back in front by 2 with the kick to come, and there's your hero, young Fecky, the number 2.
Well, it's an important period of the game. I'm sure the Cowboys now will be wishing that they had have simply just carted the ball forward, one ruck at a time, take no chances, and kick to corners. It provided an opportunity for the Sharkies, which wasn't wasted.
From near enough to the touchline for one of the game's great kickers, Michael Gordon. Well, the Cronulla people behind him would be trying to distract him. I can't quite understand. But here it comes from Gordon, and it's well wide. So the Cowboys are still alive.
He was just too tired to kick that, Michael. He fell right away at impact, and he's grimacing in a little bit of fatigue there.
And the importance of a mistake made earlier, Gus. I don't think we're going to hear the end of it. We'll be talking about it in weeks to come.
It would be absolutely shattering for the Cowboys if they bow out by 2 points here, and for the second year in a row, a refereeing controversy has cost them their place in the finals.
Fafita. Falling back after the incident against Manly involving Kieran Foran, which was beyond any doubt a refereeing error. Gallen playing the ball through Carney, who's now simply a link, and there he is again, just linking. He basically can't run. Gordon, 2-point ball game in favour of Cronulla now, and Carney gets a kick in, and Bowen, if they're going to pull it out of the fire, you don't need to identify the suspects. We know who they are.
Well, it's Thurston and Bowen, and maybe Robert Louis. He's got the ability to do it, but they're all out there on fatigue at the moment.
Play by Sims. That's Bolton. Just on their own side of halfway. They've used 3. Here's Thurston now, and he's right behind him, Bowen on his right hip.
That won't be the last time we'll see Jonathan Thurston throw a dummy. He should run with it and have options available.
They go over to big James Tarmo again, and that's the last. So where is he? Here's Bowen. And Bowen away from Linnett. It's picked up by Winterstein, who was running way back. He's passed the ball. Thurston's got the ball. Thurston kicks. He falls in back play. Was he taken? It's going to stop, is it? No, it's gone dead. Gone dead.
One more roll. One more roll. It was a brilliant effort by Thurston to get it down into the in goal, and it took one roll too many.
Well, that was the collision. I don't think you can apportion any blame to Paul Gallen. He was in many ways dodging the ball.
3.5 minutes to go.
Gordon, 35 out from his own line. Heinington. 2 grand final winners out there for the Sharks. Heinington at West Tigers. Lewis at Penrith. 3 on the Cowboys side of the halfway of being 2 and 1 grand finals. Gallen put down by Taumalolo.
Wait, mate.
The 77th minute is coming up, and they roll it over the sideline. And Carney, he's just going to hobble into shore. Roosters Sea Eagles coming up for you. 6:30 the telecast starts. And then, of course, tomorrow, don't forget, it's Canterbury versus Newcastle.
Smart play. Smart play. Burn up as much time on the clock as possible. The Cowboys race over to make sure that they can stop it and leave them 2 minutes and 43 seconds left to play. Won't be any surprise who they'll go to in these next couple of plays.
Cronulla being willed on by very much a partisan crowd. Sims gets up holding his head, and Linnett runs it away up the middle of the ground. And now it's come back for Cooper. 35 out from their own line. They might get this and another. That's doubtful. Linnett right on the halfway. 4 tackles are gone. As it goes to their captain, Thurston. He goes long, and Brent Tate has got the ball. He gets it back there to Alugia, and he's dived on the loose ball for Tate to go to dummy half. Back for John Thurston, puts the kick high, hoping for a chase, hoping for a miracle. Linnett knocked it back. It's come down. It's okay for Bowen. He chips ahead Bowen. Bowen's on the ground. Referee said play on. Gordon brings it away for Cronulla.
Important thing for the Cowboys now, one-on-one tackles. They've got to attempt to steal the ball in the tackle.
Gordon then wrapped up and put down by Cooper. John Morris, Chris Heinington, almost to halfway. Paul Gallen 1.25 to go. 1.25 from a matchup. With the loser of the match that follows. Here's Carney, and he puts a stabbing kick onto it, sending it end on end, closing the game down ever so slowly. But over on that eastern side, the Cronulla fans, as I said, large in their number and large in decibels at the moment as well.
You can see the fatigue on all these players. The Cowboys have stopped the clock.
They're not coming over. You must stay in that position, though.
With 41 seconds left. And they've got to go 90 metres to get a try. The Sharks fans urging their team on. They're not celebrating just yet. They know that there is strike power in this opposition team. But there's a long way to go on tired legs for the North Queensland boys.
Come on, out. Yes, mate, I'm there.
So to Robert Louis, to Antonio Winterstein, and he's right through. Is there anybody in front of him? Coming across his bow line, taken around the legs there by Bakuya. What a great chase by him. Now Tate, a long pass to Thurston. Now it's come out to Bowen. Bowen pushes away one, gives it back on the inside, and now it's gone to Tamalolo. Now Leonard dives for the corner. The Cowboys centre. Leonard, I think, has scored.
Check, thanks, mate.
Can you believe that?
Referee has given a try, but he's going up for examination.
Can you believe that?
Kane Linnett, and who do you think it was? Tate, Thurston, Bowen, promoting it across for the big number 4.
Let's have a look. He's got the ball. He's got the ball. He's got the leg out. The leg's out. The Sharks will win. The leg is out. The Sharks will win.
The Sharks have just realised, looking at the big screen, there's a foot gone out. The crowd then resume where they were a matter of 10 seconds ago. Here goes the boot onto the chalk. Now the grounding, too late.
Wow.
Okay, mate.
What a way to finish the game.
I can't do anything about it. Okay, mate.
But they know.
They know.
Scrum restart. There won't be time.
Well, the clock on the scoreboard is still showing 41 seconds. It was 41 seconds when they stopped play at the other end of the field. That should be time. It should be over.
Mate, I have blown time on. I've done that. That's all I can do.
The referee has blown time on, but the clock hasn't restarted when the scrum was won all that way down.
Time out now.
Now we've got 11 minutes to go. We don't want that.
Yes, mate.
There has been way more than 40 seconds from the time that scrum went on until Gitters blew time off.
Okay.
So what's going on?
Mate, I can't. I have no control. I have no...
What are the officials doing?
We have no control to the timekeeper, mate. I can only do what the clock is.
What's going on? You're the official. What's going on?
I can't do anything about it.
What are they telling you in your ear?
Nothing, mate. Nothing.
What's going on?
We'll take the scrum, boys.
Well, he's 100% right, Gavin. 100% right. The clock was on 41 seconds at the other end of the field when the scrum packed down. It should be time up. Now, Sharks will get the ball, so they should see it out.
Cowboys are going to try for a massive push from this scrum.
They can't go yet because they've got 18 minutes on the clock now on the main screen. They've just taken it down.
It should be on 11 seconds.
Wait for it.
We don't know.
I've just been told it should be on 11 seconds.
Well, it's a farce.
Seconds, though. Come together.
What a disappointing way to end the game.
Come together. We haven't got time on yet, boys. Take your time.
Wait.
Yes, mate.
Wait. Wait.
Should be one tackle and game over.
So Robson was tackled, he lost it, but he got it away to Gallen, who'll take an hour to get up, I imagine. And if I'm right, the siren should be sounding in a matter of seconds. Well, this is incredible.
Well, it's ridiculous. There it is.
Now. We have a landing. Finally, we've arrived. So Cronulla had beaten the Cowboys by 20-18, but we have it that the Cronulla side was given a try, scored on the 7th tackle, which will mar this game in the aftermath. The man of the match is Michael Gordon. The VB man of the match is Michael Gordon.